I like to call these membership talks Journey to 2000 because our district is ever so close to 2000 members that we are in the last leg of the race, and it's very exciting. Um, Membership is key to any organization. It is key to every single Rotary Club in our district, and it is monumentally important to our district as a whole. So thank you for coming on this journey with us tonight. I love when Kevin Crosby, past district governor, used to say, "This isn't your grandfather's Rotary anymore." And so this couldn't be more true, and especially in the past few years when we've had to Zoom and then we've gone to hybrid and we're still working out some of the kinks. But what are we doing to make our club meetings, our service projects, our fundraisers innovative and vibrant? If you bring your next door neighbor or one of your colleagues or the chief of police in your area to a meeting, to a service project, to a fundraiser, what will that person take back and remember what was innovative and what was vibrant? What is the carrot that you're giving to that person that makes them want to come back for more? And if we look to innovation and if we look to vibrancy, and we don't have, it doesn't have to be every single time. We don't have to put on a show every single time. But what throughout the whole Rotary year are we doing that's innovative and vibrant? So I just have to tell you something very funny. I'm actually in a room in a hospital right now, and my baking powder, some of it leaked a little bit, and it perhaps looks like an illegal substance on the desktop that I'm working on right now. I'm not kidding you. It's not really funny, but it is somewhat. So we all have an ingredient, right? We all have a spice cupboard in our home or a spice drawer or something of that nature. And I'm sure some of us cook all the time, but I'm sure all of us have tried preparing a meal at least once, Kevin, at least once in our life. And we know that every recipe has things that we have to use in order for that recipe to taste good and to be successful, and for us to want to make that recipe again, and for others to enjoy that recipe. So we have tonight 10 ingredients that are helping us to promote club growth and that are helping us to keep our best practices solid. We're going to do some interaction at the end, but I just want to point some of these things out right now. Our clubs, the people who've been Rotarians for 20 years and 30 years and 40 years, and I know a gentleman who's been a Rotarian for 60 years, 60. Before a worldwide pandemic, some of those seasoned members, we may not have seen that often. Throughout the worldwide pandemic, we may not have seen them at all. And because things look so differently now, we may still not continue to see them. So what can we possibly do to engage our seasoned members? And again, at the end, we're going to talk a little bit about that. So I'm just going to go through these quickly right now. I like to say that our seasoned members are the foundation of our clubs. They built our clubs. Without them, we would not be here. So how are we taking them under our wing? I mentioned this at the conference. It's as though someone that we love ends up in a nursing home. And in the beginning, we go and we see them almost every day, and then maybe we see them once a week, and then maybe we see them just for the holidays as time goes on. These seasoned members are our leaders, our teachers. So let's reach out to them. Mentoring new members is probably one of the most important things. And in that, let's take a look at our membership practices, and process. If someone is filling out an application and they have a sponsor, how long is it taking them to become a member? Is it like 4 months? Is it 5 months? Is it just 3 weeks? When that person or agency or business becomes a new member, do we have a mentor in our club who will help that person learn the most important history of Rotary and all that it has to offer? How can Rotary and how can your club be important to that person? A mentor helps with that. It doesn't always have to be the sponsor. In fact, it's kind of nice if that mentor is not the sponsor, because then there's 2 Rotarians who are going to kind of take that new member under their wing. We know that socials and fundraisers and service projects, if we pair a new member with a seasoned member, the newer members will be more likely to come. And then we can flip it around a little bit. If we have those projects and we haven't seen our seasoned members for a while, maybe pairing them up with a new member will help them come back into the fold because they have so much information to share. Strong leadership is key. We have the most phenomenal strategic plan in our district. We're always revamping it. We're always looking at it. We're looking at it for next year again. Succession planning is very important. Strong leadership, succession planning, and the officers and club members in our clubs need to be vibrantly involved in all of our district has to offer. There won't be so many questions. There won't be so many concerns. There's a strong leader in our district that will help every single person in our Rotary clubs. We know that clubs that have a signature event tend to grow in membership. A rib fest, a fly-in breakfast, a Santa Claus parade, a pancake breakfast that helps support a local school project or a field trip or something like that. When the community knows that the first week in July is going to be this event, those people tend to gravitate to the event. Possible new members gravitate to those events. And so we want to make sure if we can even just have one signature event in our club each year, Great Lakes Watershed Cleanup, Little Lending Libraries, pedal or participate for polio, we will start to see more members asking us, how can I become a Rotarian? Following piggyback on that signature event is being visible in the community. We are one of our own best kept secrets. And so Dave Schultz, our incredible chairperson for public image, we work hand in hand. If we can continue to promote, and I love the shirts that say Rotarian at work. They're bright and you see them on the highway and people ride by and they're so eye-catching. So whatever we can promote in our community and be visible, that's key as well. When I say active and intentional member involvement, we talked about our seasoned members and trying to bridge that gap that we've seen, especially in the last 3 years. But we don't want to be hounding someone. And sometimes we're not going to burn that bridge. But if it comes to the point where somebody really doesn't want to be actively involved anymore, but still pay their dues, or if they fall by the wayside, sometimes we have to just move on, maybe give them an exit survey and find out why this club no longer fits in their lifestyle. But the active and intentional member involvement, we're not pulling in the masses, because let's face it, not everybody has the heart of a Rotarian. So let's concentrate our efforts on those who do. And those people who have the heart of a Rotarian, whether seasoned or newbies, let's make sure their action in our clubs is active and intentional. Surveying our members helps build camaraderie. It helps build investment, and it helps build a solid ground. When people know that their concerns or ideas or suggestions are being listened to and acted upon, they will become more invested. I want to say this, and it's the only Paul Harris event that I've been to this Rotary year, so I'm not like leaving anybody out, but it's the one I attended, and I crossed the border and I was by myself, and I stayed in the most lovely bed and breakfast that was owned by 2 daughters of a Rotarian. And it was one of the most beautiful Paul Harris celebrations I've ever been to, and I've been a Rotarian for 13 years. They acknowledged people in their club. They acknowledged people in the community. It was in a very modest setting. The price tag to attend for the dinner and the evening was very minimal, and the place was packed. So let's showcase our members. Let's highlight our community members as well, who do have hearts of Rotarians, but are not a member of our club yet. And showing appreciation to the members that we have. Sometimes emails don't cut it. Sometimes texts don't cut it. Maybe pick up a phone, maybe write a letter, maybe even highlight somebody. If you have a Rotarian who is in a workplace that you visit, write to their manager or their director or their president and say, this person makes a difference in our community. I'm so happy that they're your employee. Whatever we can do to truly appreciate our members. Some of the tools that we can use to grow our membership and to retain our seasoned Rotarians, I will be sending to you in an email. And once I pull back the other screen up, I'm going to put my email in the chat box. And I want each of you to please email me your address. Although I think I'm going to take a screenshot at the end, so I'll have everybody their name anyways. But some of the tools that we can use, there's a Rotary Club health check. There's a membership matrix. I did not create this. I stole it from a United Way agency here in Chautauqua County. They were more than happy to share it. There's a new membership checklist. There's a club membership checklist. What should your club be doing? What could we be doing as a membership team? And I do like to say that it's not the job of one membership chair to be recruiting new members. Everybody in your club needs to be a proponent of membership. And then let's take a step back and evaluate our membership process. What are we doing that's right and easy and inclusive to pull in members, and what might be a little bit stodgy and we need to mix it up a little bit? Let's take a look at that, right? Well, maybe you can just take, I'll attach the PowerPoint into the chat box, but there's my number. There's my email address. I do just want to let you know, and I always send a survey after one of these meetings, and I do send attachments. I have a family member, my mom right now, that's pretty ill. And so I'm monitoring my emails. I'm not responding a lot to them right now. That may change by Monday. And so I'm going to go back though a couple slides here. I'm going to stop that for just a minute. And then I will put I'll just do it again. I'll put my email address. I'm going to bring up that slide though about the ingredients because I think that's really important. And I want us to talk about that for just a little bit, if that's okay with all of you. Never know where I am with this from the beginning. Oh, that didn't work. Sorry. Go back to here. There we go. I'm just going to leave it like that. So these are the 10 ingredients to promote club growth and best practices. And I do want us to talk about that for just a little bit. And anybody, who has something to say, please feel free and just come right out with it. And then if we have doubles up, that's okay. I'll call somebody out. But right now, what are we doing to engage our seasoned members? Does somebody have something that's kind of tried and true and is working really well and has pulled some of the people we haven't seen for a while back into the flock? Anyone?
Well, it's kind of a combination of several things in your list, but we inducted 5 new people this year, and some of them had repeat people promoting them. So I've used some of our seasoned members as the mentors for the new members, and that's one way we've been trying to get them involved. So it kind of covers 1 and 2.
That's great. Excellent. Anyone else? What we're doing to engage new members? Nels, I'm seasoned member, sorry.
I guess it could be 1, 2, and 3 because, so I don't know if this counts as engaging seasoned members. I suppose it does. We have meetings first and third Tuesday, but then on the second and fourth, we have a standing invitation for anyone who wants to show up at the same time. We're a sunrise group, so we meet at 7:30, and on the off Tuesdays, we meet at Denny's, and it's usually a core group of us, but then all different ages. So that's, I guess, seasoned and new. And then people just kind of filter in, and it's nice to get to know people one-to-one at those socials.
I like that, especially the one-on-one. That's very good. And I like the way you're kind of combining the first, second, and third. Anybody else want to combine the first, second, and third, what their clubs are doing right now?
Well, if I could just speak to this, you kind of blended retention and recruitment. And I would really like to know the top 10 things other groups do to recruit new members. I know both are important, but we're really small and we really need to ramp up the recruitment side. So that would be something would be very helpful to share. And I know I'm not trying to discount retention, but I think there are 2 slides, not 1 slide. That's all.
Sounds excellent. Kevin, I can tell you that some of the big group projects, like the Great Lakes Watershed Cleanup that's coming up, like a Rib Fest, going back to that kind of signature event, or a community kind of cleanup day or something like that, that tends to draw people because we found out that newer members really want to roll up their sleeves and get to work. So inviting them to something where they have an action and not just a meeting is important. And then following up with those people. We've had massive amount of community members come out for our Great Lakes Watershed cleanups. And now there's what is it 16 different districts participating. So anyone who's coming out to an event like that, we make sure we get their name, we make sure we get their phone number, and we make sure we get their email address. Another thing is, I'm telling you, people don't respond a lot to emails these days. So if you can send something in the mail, I think people have so gotten used to electronics that it's just like it's too much sometimes. So if you can send something in the mail, that's great. And then follow up with that person again. And if you have a really dynamo speaker, invite them to come to a meeting. Also, your speakers, I've been trying to ask every single speaker who comes to my own club, I send them an application. I'm not even the membership chair. I send them an application like right after they get done speaking within a couple days. And then I list the different, like I just list our district website. I list our social media pages. Oh, okay. We're getting down to I see that. Okay. I just got a thing that said it'll end in 10 minutes. I think we can go on though. I'm not sure. And I'll make sure to touch base with you after, Kevin, too. I appreciate the question. How about let's jump to strong leadership. How are we doing in our clubs with succession planning and strong leadership? Are our officers engaged in district trainings? Are they coming to district events? Are they attending pets? Are they interacting? And not just the officers, but officers are key. But how many of our members are attending?
Can I interrupt for a minute? It does
Yes.
say where you only got so many more minutes. When we get cut off, just go right back on and we'll have another 40 minutes.
Oh, who said that? Thank you.
Joan Heels, yeah. I'm used
Oh,
to,
thank you.
I have a free one too, and you're only allowed 40 minutes. So
I don't think this is the free one though. This is through the district, but
well, it says remaining time only. if-
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
so can I just mention something, Michelle? I think probably when Penny set this up, she was thinking we were only gonna take half an hour. And so she
Yeah,
didn't provide
because that
you
was
with-
my plan because it's so nice outside. I don't think people want to be stuck in front of their
Yeah.
screens for like
So
an hour
I
and a
think
half.
we should try to stick to that time frame because I think that's why she didn't give you the full license, which can go longer.
Okay,
And as we're trying to record this, I think it'll just become disjointed if we try to go off and then come back.
that sounds good. And I will definitely follow up with emails. But let's, anybody with strong leadership, who would like to bring up? Yes.
Sue Collins here, Rotary Club of Waterdown. One thing we've just started this year is having co-chairs. So with a newer member joining as co-chair, for example, fundraising this year, and then next year she'll lead on her own. And I think that's going to be a really nice model going forward. I think we're going to try and do that more.
That's excellent. Someone else, Beth.
Well, it's interesting. Back to Kevin, because I can speak to all of your points here. So, but one thing about people finding you, so recruiting new people, yes, we can go out and look, but I get all the emails of people that know about Rotary and they go to our website. It's not the best website, but I'll be very honest. It has enough information about the club. So when people are sort of shopping, like I'm in the Niagara region, so we have, morning, lunch, dinner clubs. So and they're trying to see what you do. If you can keep as much information updated on your web page, I think it's very, very helpful. It's one-stop shopping for people. So the whole thing with having the web page, it has to be kept up to date. So I'm not saying daily, maybe even weekly, but at least monthly to say what your club is doing. I'd say 3/4 of the people lately have found us through our website.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
And then we did have the website refresh in our district.
Yeah, it was very, very helpful. One thing we are very quickly doing as far as engagement is we're having the biggest issue, right? Like our thing was fellowship. And I think like our tenured members are sort of, I think we're calling it the restart button because of COVID, that everybody, some people are not wanting, most are coming back to the in-persons. We're doing some hybrids. It's challenging because we're not AV specialists, but we're doing an appreciation night at one of our members, and it's going to be very casual. And we're going to make it sort of like I say, a kick restart button for those that are finally comfortable with coming back in person. So we're having it May 10th. So I'd be happy to let everybody know how it goes, because we're going to have some fun sort of interactive things to do as well.
I love that. Anyone else?
I can say
Now-
that I was drawn in by a community event, number 6, Visible in the Community. It was a great event put down at the waterfront. I was actually invited in as a guest to entertain, but I was just so drawn by the people that and the more I found out, I could not join. But it's also tied in with Visible in the Community. It was also the humble brag, like putting on your website, how are you serving? Because I was blown away when I started doing my homework on how much good Rotary was doing in the area, and I had no clue. So we need a humble
Best
brag.
kept secret.
Yeah.
Very good. 2 things. I just want to tell you, I did put my email address in the chat box. I also put the PowerPoint in the chat box as well. And then before we end, I do want to tell you something that I've been doing in areas and groups and with our other membership committee folks in our district, is having like a breakfast or a lunch or an evening, whatever it might be, and just kind of have a brainstorming session. The folks who attended the conference membership journey really had some great reviews. So I can bring my little dog and pony show to your area and your neck of the woods. And if we can get like maybe 3 clubs instead of just 1 club to participate, I'll go anywhere. So do keep that in mind. I'm going to go back down, skip to 10. How are we appreciating our members? How do our members know that they are valued and cared for and respected?
I think the problem is the clubs are graying out, and most of the club members are inactive, not proactive. And if they don't become proactive, Rotary will die.
We do need to be proactive. I agree.
Yes.
And the service, if we can, roll up our sleeves and, even if we have only 10 people show up, maybe next time we'll have a little bit more and the next time we'll have more than that.
Michelle,
Yes.
when I was president, what I did to appreciate your members, I had the superhero Rotary superhero pins that the Australian
Burrell.
I think. Yeah.
Evan Burrell.
Evan Barrow.
So he was the so I ordered some. And so I was president for 3 years in a row. So every year I awarded 3 superhero pins, and they were ones, and they were just for the Rotarians in our club. And what they were is somebody that went above and beyond for a function or just running the club or whatever. And it was very, very appreciated. It's a silly little pin, but it was very appreciated because people actually realized that we did appreciate what they did for the club.
So, something like that is easy, affordable, but it does definitely mean a lot. Annette.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Annette. You're like my good
Thank
friend
you
from
for-
Canada now, just like Dave.
Thank you for all you're doing. And that is one way. Every time you see your members, just thanking them for being a member of Rotary and everything they do to be in Rotary. We forget they joined for a reason, but everybody likes to get a thank you. And I think sometimes maybe we take that for granted or other things get in the way. And I think we just need to say, we appreciate everything you do for Rotary.
I completely agree. I'm in awe of all the people in our district who work so tirelessly and so hard. It really is amazing all that we accomplish and we do, and all the hours that we put in really on a weekly basis. And our club leaders do the same, and that recognition does mean a lot. We're down to like a minute and 22 seconds. And thanks for your expert advice, Dave. I appreciate you. You're my shoulder that I lean on through all this public image stuff and Zoom and everything like that. Again, I just want to remind you folks, I am willing to come to you. I bring some of our committee members for the membership in our district with me. And if we can get 3 clubs together, that would be fantastic. Yes, Scott.
Real quick, if we want to continue this conversation, we do have a district training assembly coming up in a couple of weeks. Saturday, Michelle, you'll be leading this conversation. So feel free to sign into that one on Saturday morning, and let's continue this conversation. And Michelle, I have a new thing for you. We should open up with the theme to 2001: A Space Odyssey and say Rotary 2001.
Oh, I like that.
Something like that. I think we have that whole big theme going on there.
Innovative and vibrant.
Innovative and vibrant. So great job, Michelle. Thank you so much.